What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the RedBeard Outdoors podcast. I'm Jonathan, your host, and today we have a fantastic guest. You may know him as Logie Bear off of Hush.
Yeah,
That's he still blushes over that name. But we got Logan Butler here. He's just a young, awesome individual in the outdoor industry who has worked with, again, big names such as Hush and is now at Ollin. Does amazing work, has a family, loves his family. Loves the outdoors and is super passionate about any projects that he works on. But he's joining me today specifically because today is the launch or relaunch of the Nexus system. And you guys probably got your hands on it, got to see it at the Hunt Expo. All of those pre-orders are being taken care of. Obviously, if anyone knows anything about manufacturing, you know there's always hiccups. Murphy is like the general manager of manufacturing. So there's always something going on there, but everything's being taken care of. People that ordered at the Hunt Expo, and I love the way that Ollin is taking care of their customers, understanding that it can be a little bit of a pain waiting so long for an item that you wanted to use. But now we're launching it again, and you guys know Ollin is a partner of the show, so we're going to go over the Nexus system, what this is all about, and Logan's got some amazing options to show you guys like they did at the Hunt Expo. And if you weren't able to make it, you can see how quick this goes from a rifle to a camera to a spotter to binoculars, all on one tripod, one system with the base and the plate. And we're going to go over all of that today. So with that being said, Logan, where do you want to kick us off with the Nexus system?
I think the best way to do it is to paint a picture. This is what Nate likes to do to me all the time when he's pitching me a new product idea, is to paint a picture. First of all, thank you for that introduction, man. That was awesome. Yeah, I've been in the industry for 7 years at Hush, like you were saying before here, and now I'm full time here. But
Wait, hold on, I'm going to interrupt you there. 7 years. So did you start when you were like 12?
I was at Hush. It feels like that sometimes. It feels like an entire lifetime.
You just look really young, and I'm like, 7 years, that's a long time.
I think I started, they picked me up at 22. I was just a young 22-year-old, and I lived an entire life before that. But what I'm getting at is I really cut my teeth in the industry filming. I loved telling stories through cinematography and photos, so I was always dealing with a bunch of equipment, right? And RedBeard, before we got on here, was talking to me about his interest in filming and cameras, and you are just opening the door to a never-ending list of camera bodies, lenses, equipment, you name it. And so with that, my favorite part, well, one of my favorite parts is the accessories, gear management, and things like that. So the backstory on me is I'm your typical camera guy that's walking around in the woods. So back to the picture. Say that you're out there on a hunt. It's cold. You've been working your butt off the first 3-4 days of the hunt, glassing. Finally, you have an opportunity, right? The storm breaks, and say you're chasing bucks. A big mule deer buck walks out of the trees into a clearing and is heading to the next one. You have seconds in that situation. And as a camera guy as well, you always have to stay on edge because none of it's scripted, right? It's all whatever happens in the field. And so you're trying to get your spotter out, lock your spotter onto your tripod or your binos, whatever optic you're using, and you have the wrong base plate, or the base plate is loose, or you're sitting there, your hands are cold, and you're trying to twist on, tighten the ARCA plate or whatever kind of system you have, and that buck walks away. You may only get one of those moments in a hunt. You may only have very few opportunities, and that was the pain point that Ollin wanted to solve with the Nexus system. So with that being said, I guess I can just give a breakdown of what it is and why me as even a cameraman, like even outside of the hunting world, loves this product and is so excited about it.
Perfect. Let's do it.
So essentially, it's a 2-piece system. Another pain point that you have is, it's the first hunt of the year, you're getting all your gear together, and you have all of these different plates for your tripod, for your spotters, whatever have you, and you always kind of have to keep them together, and a lot of times you lose them. So that was the first pain point we wanted to solve, was once you put your base onto your tripod, that's where it lives. You might as well throw Loctite on that thread because you will never need to take it off. So that is the first piece of the system, is the base. So once you have the base on your favorite tripod, piece number 2 is the plate. And the second pain point is sometimes plates are different sizes. Luckily, the industry is moving into an all ARCA type plate. So usually you'll have 2 to 3 ARCA plates on you. But this plate is universal with this base. So say you have a spotter. I like to glass from my binos a lot on a bino adapter to my tripod. And I am constantly going from my binos to my spotter and unscrewing, untightening, taking it off, putting the new one on. I'm just going to let the product do the talking for me. Snap, twist, you're locked in. Sweet. It's that easy. It truly is. And the base will always live on your tripod. And then the plates on your gear will always live on the gear. So one base and then multiple plates for different products. So I was lucky and got to get my hands on these 4 or 5 months ago. Like when they were doing the pre-releases, Nate funneled me a bunch at Hush just to kind of try and use and get my hands on. So I constantly have them on my camera, my tripod, or my camera, my spotter, my binos, and it's the same thing. So I had the spotter on, go into the camera, twist, snap, twist, and lock, and you're in every time. The other beautiful thing about it is it has a locking trigger. So once this trigger is locked, that thing is not coming off. Like you can throw it over your shoulder. I've been on so many hunts where I'll just leave my spotter on, moving from one vantage to the other, and you never have to worry about it popping off with that locking trigger. But just the ability to go from your binos to your spotter, if that's all you ever use the Nexus for, that alone is game changing. So you can rip your tripod out of your backpack, set it up, pull your spotter out, and now instead of twisting, tightening, and making sure everything's good, it's literally snap, twist, lock, you're good to go, you're glassing.
Love it. Man, that's super simple. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. No, I'm kidding. It's really it's really that simple, and I absolutely love it. You can use it for, if you're in the later season, or maybe you have an area that you do a lot of driving, road hunting. You can use it on your mount for your window. You can use it on a tripod, whatever it is that you may want. But there's also something else for those of you that are rifle hunters, which I don't post a lot about rifles. I love rifles, but there's also a benefit to this for you rifle hunters. Now, there is some, maybe you don't carry the heavy tripod all the time that you would want to use for your rifle. Maybe you're okay with a lighter tripod just because you need somewhere to rest your rifle, whatever, but you can use it with your rifle as well, which you've got a rifle stock back there as well. So you've got your spotter up, and you identify the animal that you want. You're not like us bow hunters where you have to go get into 50 yards on an animal, and your hunt just started. Now you can actually pull your rifle out and be like, all right, well, I'm on them, and let's go.
The old Hoyt 300 Magnum.
Yeah. That's the real get serious right there.
Yes. I'm super glad you brought that up. I almost forgot. And Nate just showed me this the other day, because you guys are we're still learning new use case scenarios for this. So out west, typically you have a bipod on your gun, or anywhere, you're hunting big game in the mountains. You typically have a bipod on your gun because one of the best ethical shooting positions is prone. It's the most stable. But out here, there's a lot of super tall sagebrush, grasses, and it's kind of hard to get that prone shot sometimes, where you need to get elevated. That's exactly right. So Nate showed this to me yesterday. He's like, dude, why would you not throw a Nexus base and plate on your bipod? So you have your bipod on your rifle, but if that shot doesn't present itself, it's super fast to take it off. You already have one on your tripod. Set, twist, and now you're on a tripod just like that.
Yep.
Within seconds. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. But yeah, always have one on your rifle too. And then your bipod can stay on there as well.
Perfect. There you go.
It's just, honestly, the whole reason Nate started Ollin was because it's a long story, but a sheep hunt where the current digiscoping system he had, he couldn't get on it fast enough. And that's where it clicked in his head that we need to make more than just the digiscoping portion, but
Mm-hmm.
everything around hunting, those seconds truly matter. And so that's kind of been our mission, is taking all of that fumbling around out of the equation.
Yeah, exactly. And look, I've used other competitor stuff, and Nate actually, I was talking with Ollin before the launch. I had my hands on a competitor's product, and he said, you know what? That's great. Just go put them out there in the field, go use them. Now, this was a couple years ago. I know there's been updates. Guys that go over to my other video where I did a comparison between Ollin and the competitors, I get a lot of comments still. You can tell when people go in to order gear because it starts to recycle and people go in and comment. I'm like, look at the date. I know there's been updates, guys. But at that
Yes.
time, it was trying to fumble with the camera to get it lined up with the spotter versus with Ollin. It was like, boom. And then I throw it right on and
Yeah.
it's locked in. It's perfect horizontal or vertical, however you want to film, take the picture. And honestly, something that a lot of people don't think about. Yeah, it's cool to get the footage to take home and share with your family, your friends, send videos to your buddies. But also, if you're there, like with a kid, it's hard for a kid to get their
Yeah.
eyeball up that high and see. But if you have your phone camera on the spotter, they can see into that screen and experience it a lot better than trying to fit their eyes into binos or spotter or whatever. So there's a lot of good benefits to
Dude,
that.
that's exactly right. I had a moose hunt earlier this year, and I was lucky enough to take my wife and kids out. And that's when that moment clicked in my head is, when you're in a spotter, like you said, looking at something, it's very personal. You're the only one looking at
Mm-hmm.
that thing at that moment. And sure, like somebody can kind of peer in, but yeah, throw the snapshot on your spotter. And me, my wife, and my two boys all gathered around the tripod and are watching it all at the same time. That's a huge point.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
that's
So
what makes it really cool.
yeah, so that Nexus system is definitely something that I recommend for people. It's highly useful. I mean, in so many different ways, and depending on how many tripods you have, some people and most people have one solid tripod that they use for everything. So really, you just have to get one
Yeah.
base and one plate or two plates or three plates, depending on what you're throwing on that tripod. If you're someone like
Yeah.
me or someone else that has multiple tripods, you can go and grab a different base, but also it's pretty simple to pull that base off if you don't want to buy two or three bases. Again, it's just an Arca plate that you can unscrew and put on.
Yep.
Maybe you've got a different tripod that you use for rifle season than you do for bow season, than you do for your road hunting season. There's different things that you've got that you can swap it out real easy.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, it's ARCA. So most, like I was saying earlier, most people in the industry are moving to the ARCA style plate. But if you say you have a tripod or a tripod head, pan head, fluid head that's not ARCA, they are threaded with both standard sizes. So you can actually screw this on to the plate and still use it. Once it goes on, it stays on. But
Perfect.
yeah, man. And another big thing right now, you're dropping this on Friday, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, folks listening right now, if it is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, Friday through the 2nd, this is the first time these are going to be back on our website. But not only are they back in stock and relaunched, they're 20% off right now with code. Tell them your code, dude.
RedBeard. Code RedBeard.
RedBeard.
Yeah.
Use code RedBeard and you'll get 20% off.
Perfect. Sweet. Yeah, I'll link all that down below, guys, so you can go and check it out. I'm still figuring out putting it in videos, but I might put it in one of these little corners things here. But definitely go check out the link down below if you're watching this on Black Friday. And how long does the sale run?
So Friday through Sunday the 2nd. So Black Friday through Cyber Monday, 20% off. So it's a killer deal right now.
Yeah.
If you pre-ordered or whatever, and if you're ready for more plates, it's a killer time to get some. I know we have a good inventory, but I have a feeling it's going to go fast.
Oh yeah.
So if you guys have been on the fence, get you a base and plate and just try it out. I mean, when Nate came to me with the idea like a long time ago, I was like, dude, that's a great idea and stuff, and I think it's going to be useful. But I didn't truly realize until I was in the field spending hours from binos to spotter how fast and easy it is. And then once you have an ecosystem with like your hunting buddies, like it's universal. So if your buddy has a setup, you can go from your tripod to his tripod like that.
Oh yeah. No, for sure. I definitely agree with you on that. That's huge. And for anyone well, I guess by the time this comes out, we're down to the last day of the late season for archery deer here in Utah. But it's almost impossible. It's not impossible, but it's almost impossible to get in on a good buck or deer or even elk without a spotter on the front here in Utah. So you definitely want to get a good hunting buddy, get them the Ollin system as well, maybe gift it to them to bribe them to come
There you
hunting with
go.
you and be your spotter.
There you
Get them
go.
some gear, whatever, whatever you got to do to sweeten the deal a little bit. But, go and check it out, guys. Again, 20% off from today through Cyber Monday, and code RedBeard. Get set up with this Nexus system. It is top notch. And again, if you're a camera person, rifle person, they haven't made a bow adapter yet, but maybe working on that. No, okay.
Might find something.
Yeah, exactly. But in all reality, guys, again, thanks, Logan. I appreciate you showing that off there and all the different ways that you can throw it in. Again, Logan's been running this for even longer than I have. We both have really enjoyed this. That's coming from a cameraman's point of view, and then from me, who's just the normal Joe out there with a spotter and binos that likes to swap in between on a tripod. So go check it out, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. And of course, like I always say, get out, live your life, and love it.
Heck yeah.